This is the Astrology and Tarot Show with Jessica Adams.
Thanks, Shane. This is my psychic take on your horoscope for the week of Monday, November 3 to Sunday, November 9. First of all, a true prediction. You might have read this on my Substack back on September 26, 1 month ago. A government shutdown in the US could be part of the stunned piggy bank worldwide. The Donald deadline is Tuesday, the 30th of September, to avoid that. However, he had a 35-day shutdown back in 2018 to 2019, and this would fit the timing on Mercury retrograde with all its chaos in Scorpio, one of the two finance signs of astrology. Well, as we record this on October 29, the government shutdown is in its fourth week. Missed paycheck chaos is real, unfortunately. This does end, but I hope you read the astrology caution on Substack. Your tarot this week is Aries, the Two of Pentacles, Taurus, the Emperor, Gemini, the Ace of Pentacles, Cancer, the Ten of Wands, Leo, the Ace of Swords, Virgo, the Magician, Libra, the Three of Pentacles, Scorpio, the Ace of Swords, Sagittarius, the Nine of Wands, Capricorn, the Ten of Cups, Aquarius, the Four of Wands, and Pisces, the Ace of Cups. You can decode all that on my website. Now, if you have Taurus and or Scorpio factors in your birth chart, the full moon in Taurus in opposition to the Sun in Scorpio, the two big money signs, on November the 5th, falls at 13 degrees. Expect a financial, real estate, taxation, business, shopping, charity, banking or insurance full stop. A full moon is always a full stop in the sky. If you can fast forward this to December for resolution, then you will avoid Mercury retrograde delays, changes and cancellations. If you can't though, have plan B and plan C, get it in writing and read the fine print. Aries, this really is the week to look for opportunities until June 2026, actually, where your home, family, property interest, household, or local area is concerned. Perhaps your country too, if you're a patriot. This will not be the first time a new order falls into place for you, but at least you can ensure that you have learned from prior experience about seizing the day and using the luck. This Jupiter in Cancer cycle, very much about the people at home or your idea about home, has been with you since June 9. And so many Aries people have done very nicely with real estate since then. Jupiter is also about help, big solutions and opportunities, answers of the sweeping kind. Lily Allen's ex, David Harbour, is an Aries like you. He and she just broke up and listed their Brooklyn townhouse for around $8 million. She also has a new album out. Their breakup is front page. Now that can't hurt real estate interest. It's different for every Aries, but this cycle is well known for bringing you the solution with the house or the apartment, the mortgage and so on, or it will open the door to something bigger and better. And you have this until June 30, 2026. So your natural luck is worth using from this week forward. Maybe you want to redecorate or renovate. Maybe you want to rent out a room for Airbnb, reshuffle the household, sort out the family, or even think about moving next year. If you are planning ahead, do it before June 13, 2026, because you do hit Mercury retrograde in your home zone after that date. However, great dates next year, if you are thinking ahead, include around May 2 and May 19. Then you have from June 1 to sign or agree about your home, your people or your place with Jupiter luck on your side. Taurus, Mercury retrograde, which we've known about for a long time, continues to offer you delays, cancellations and reversals with your other half or the other side, where your correspondence, telephone calls, multimedia, web, writing or voice is concerned. This is not about who or what has the partnership, the duet, the double act, or even the duel in hand, it's actually about coming to a totally new arrangement in December. I mentioned Aries David Harbour. In this week's Aries forecast, his ex, Lily Allen, is a Taurus like you. Whatever is going on with the other side or your other half will go backwards and forwards until December, so be aware of that. The partnership can be business or professional, as well as personal. So can the duel or the difference. Tony Blair is a Taurus. Watch what happens with Donald Trump and him, that odd couple over Gaza. What happens next is probably not what Tony Blair expected. This is all classic Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. This is the cycle when you put in front of everything. So you reschedule, you rethink, and maybe you retract what you said, or the other person may do the same. If it is personal, though, like marriage or dating, a de facto partnership and so on, there's another cycle to watch for your Taurus, and that's the South Node in Virgo in your 5th house, and that's karma. The karma goes back 18 or 19 years. It's very much about courtship, the bedroom, babies, infants, school children, teenagers, and young adults. Life 18 or 19 years ago is calling you this week. This cycle does stop on July 26, 2026, but until then, you may find everything's really familiar. The answer is to change on the inside. When you alter your take on it or your point of view, you find you become happier and probably also a better human being. Gemini. It really is game on with your control in life and your power, as right now into January 2026, there are goals about the world part of the World Wide Web, travel, maybe relocation or emigration, foreigners, publishing, or education, which are potent and they're pretty historic. Much depends on the work that you do this week, because preparation time is November, but it will make holding the reins, sharing them, or juggling the reins a priority in January, February next year. So let's talk about Pluto in Aquarius in your chart and some useful dates for next year, as you may be pre-planning now. You may already know, for example, that you're travelling abroad or you're welcoming a traveller. Maybe you're even emigrating. The dates for next year are around 17 January, 20 January, 23 January, and then the really big one from 28 July, when there is karma from life 18 or 19 years before. That's huge in your life, Gemini, and I'll talk more about it in your year ahead prediction when we get to that in December. Just in terms of this week, though, if your eyes are on January or people are already talking about that month next year, that's correct. And it's all about self-control and willpower. The more that you can run your own life and your own self in terms of who or what is so foreign to you, whether it's an accent or whether it's a language, the more powerful you will become in 2026. The alternative is to just throw your hands up in the air and let other people, places, situations, or organizations run your show. But that's really no option at all. When you have a Pluto cycle, always push back. Cancer. Uranus back in Taurus in November suggests that there is no going back with your group, the one involving a friend. You were already well on the way to a major change last week, and now you must undertake to share the new freedom. Of course, there is a revolution in this. If you scratch the surface of your club, your team, your circle, your band, your society, even your social media, you'll find the revolution. The trick is being honest about what's going on, Cancer, and finding a way to honour your need for independence along with others in the group. It may be the Freemasons and your father and uncle are both members along with your friends, or it may be social media like Substack. This is all taking you somewhere, and it's taking you to the March-May 2026 final countdown for the big change. That is when you may leave the group or join one, when a friend may leave, or you may make a new friend. But either way, this is way more than just social juggling. It's incredibly important in terms of your own freedom and independence. The dates for next year, which may be in your diary already, with this group or with these friends, are around 15 March, 30 March, 20 April, the 3rd of May, the 16th of May, which is the big new beginning, and just after that, from the 18th of May, when everything speeds up. What's happening this week is prep for that. But with the best will in the world, when you have Uranus going through your chart like this, you can't actually predict the future at all. What happens with friends and groups is literally unpredictable. The best thing that you can do is make way for it. Leo, this Uranus retrograde in Taurus helps you to think about November 2025 to April 2026 as your watershed in terms of your success, ambition, and position. You needed this to show you the way things were and the way they could be in the future. It takes time to lock in radically different new arrangements with other people, and you need time this week. The other extreme option, depending on how constricted or restricted you feel, is that you walk away, or they do. And that's not out of the question, depending on your personal birth chart. In most cases, though, your role, your goal, your position, your mission, and your ambition is about being free. It's about being your own person and being quite independent. You may already have some dates for next year between March and May in particular in your diary, because that's when you're thinking about retiring or resigning or launching a new project or role, maybe starting a new course. These dates are very important, and they are around 15 March, 30 March, 20 April, the 3rd of May, the 16th of May. There's a new moon then, which could see the big new beginning. And from 18th of May, it all moves really quickly. You've had this cycle for a long time, Leo. You've known about it since 2018. And what it's done every step of the way is help you to become your own person, to find the space that you need, and also to introduce you to new inventions, innovations, new technology, which can make a radical difference to the way that you operate. There's more of that to come from this week. Virgo, your ruler Mercury is retrograde, so think about December if you want a simple life in terms of your idea, your course, your project, your website, your voice, or social media, as this week is reversal and rehearsal. In fact, it's a rehearsal all the way through November, not an outcome. This may be down to you, to other people going back on their word, to issues with computers or telephones, the post, or even extreme weather. Yet having plan B and plan C will help you, as will understanding that this is beta testing or a first draft. This is a constant theme in your horoscope at the moment, and you are going to have to reschedule between now and early December, but that can work for you as you were born to be heard or read, and if you are testing it or trying a first or second draft, that also helps. If a short journey is involved, Virgo, you definitely need plan B or plan C, as short journeys are also in the Mercury retrograde zone. Mercury will go back to normal by the time December is well underway, but have all sorts of things up your sleeve right now. The world part of the World Wide Web is also a revolution for you, so that's going on as well until April 2026. Uranus, the revolution, is back in Taurus in your 9th house of foreign internet connections on different time zones and with different accents or languages. This is a radical change that is the last piece of freedom that you deserve. In fact, you have had one wave of freedom and independence since 2018. These dates next year are very important, and maybe they're already in your diary as you are booking flights or putting a different nationality in your calendar. March 15, March 30, April 20, May 3, May 16, which is a big new beginning for you, and May 18, when things really start to move very quickly. Libra, you are slowly realizing how vital it is that you take back your boundaries or even find them for the first time where your health is concerned. This is mental health or physical health, Libra, and it goes right down to food and drink, through to doctors and even health insurance. This has been a constant theme for a long time, and this week reminds you about the need for boundaries again. The way that you work and live can't be separated now. These boundaries, the lines that should not be crossed, involve people, organisations, or even simple things about everyday timing. And as your mental health and physical health are strongly affected by medication, recreational drugs, alcohol, and other X factors on Neptune cycles like this one, you need to keep an eye on them. Sleep is another major Neptune theme on this cycle. Do take every opportunity and solution offered to you if you want to get back the control and contain what is going on. This cycle will stop on January 26 next year. That is when Neptune goes out of Pisces and it leaves your solar 6th house. There is another bump on February 14 next year when Saturn goes out of Pisces, again, leaving your zone of lifestyle, health, fitness, workload, and the daily routine. End chapters are coming, and maybe those dates are already in your diary. For example, you may be planning to resign or retire then in the interests of better health, or maybe you're already thinking about important medical appointments or changes, maybe starting a new way of eating or drinking, for example. Next year, there are some key dates to watch. Around the 7th of February, you'll start talking or thinking, and there may be paperwork. But be aware that from the 12th of February until April 9, your plans may go backwards and forwards on Mercury retrograde. So if people are already talking to you in terms of 12 February to April 9, 2026, make sure that you already have Plan B and Plan C up your sleeve. And the other date that I would avoid is the full moon total lunar eclipse on the 3rd of March next year. Allow the 2nd, 3rd and 4th of March for that one to go straight past you. Scorpio. If not for the old karma that you have about people power, or the particular repetition that you've experienced via a group, you would not be feeling just the way you feel now about your tribe, or maybe tribes, plural. You've seen firsthand what can happen when life is the same old thing. This might be the Democrats for you, the Freemasons. It might be anything from Mumsnet to a netball team. But whatever it is, and it could be a social media circle, you must push the need for closure quite hard a second time if you're to benefit from the good karma that could flow from this group. Final closure with this circle of people is July 2026. Some of you are already planning ahead with the team, the club, and so on. Particularly if you play sport, as sporting events may be looking at you from the second half of next year. Whatever your circle or group is, though, you owe or are owed spiritually from life as it was 18 or 19 years ago, and that's ongoing. Yet from the second half of next year, you are done, you are all repaid or settled. Key dates for that kind of closure with this group involving one or more friends are around the 9th of July, the 23rd of August, the 25th of August, the 11th of September, a key date for lots of people in New York when there's a new moon in Virgo, and around the 25th of November. That puts the seal on it. The karma is done, Scorpio, but for this week, you still have to keep cycling through. Sagittarius. You may not have known quite where this is all leading, but the new faces and possibilities in your career, university life, or non-profit role since this cycle began many years ago, re-entering your life in November, all have a part to play in being free. Sagittarius, you're now heading towards the biggest and brightest final revolution in many years, and your ambition for so much more space in your life will be fulfilled or even exceeded thanks to events unfolding from April 2026. Taking a stand, setting yourself apart, doing it your way, and doing your own thing are very much where it's at. And you'll see that from this week forward. You may be planning next year already, so I'll give you some key dates for the revolution, as you may be thinking about a new job, a new project, time off, retirement, and so on. Whatever it is, it does spell Independence Days, plural, for you. And it's coming your way around the 15th of March, the 30th of March, the 20th of April, the 3rd of May next year, when you really start talking or signing, the 16th of May, when it all looks green lights, and from the 18th of May, when it all begins very, very quickly for you. Capricorn, another part of your country, the UK, the US, Australia, or the world map, is the priority, as you will see from this week one more time. That different accent or different nationality or that pin on the map is calling back old karma from 18 or 19 years before. You will find closure with what unfolds eventually by July 2026, and the clues are there this week about what you need to do. Follow the accent and the culture. If necessary, learn the language, or at least the local slang. You will be given a proper karmic sign-off with this person, this organisation, or this country by this time next year, partly as a result of the very small beginnings that you make this week. This is the well-known South Node in Virgo cycle. Some of you are already thinking about travelling next year, welcoming a traveller, exporting, or even emigrating. There may be international students on your agenda, translation, or any other way to pin that map down. And these dates may be in your diary. The 9th of July, the 23rd of August, the 25th of August, the 11th of September, and the 25th of November. Around those dates, you'll realise that you finally have some closure with the past as it was 18 or 19 years before. Aquarius, with so many opportunities and solutions, this is when you must start thinking about finally looking in lifestyle, health, fitness, mental health, or work improvements. You have already found yourself in the right place at the right time since June to make a fantastic difference to your daily routine and your lifestyle. If you took the opportunity, or even if you let it pass you by, you're still in the green light zone. And your chosen field, special subject, unpaid role, studies, or profession is showing you where to head next. This is the Jupiter in Cancer cycle. You only get it every 12 years. It's in your zone of workload, lifestyle, and well-being. Harry Styles, your fellow Aquarian, is running marathons. What are you doing to improve your health and fitness? The opportunities have been there for quite a few weeks now, and there will be many more until June the 30th, 2026. If it's work on your agenda or study because you plan to start a new project or course, launch a plan, resign, retire, or make another big move, then you may need to know these dates, or perhaps you already do. They show you where the luck is. Around 19th of May, the 1st of June, the 21st of June, the 14th of July, and the 11th of August. Just be aware that within this time frame, we have Mercury retrograde from June 13. So although the luck is there and the big improvements are potentially there, you may want to have plan B and C after that between June 13 and August 7, 2026. Get everything in writing and read the fine print. Pisces, even though your freedom and independence is on hold with your apartment, your family, your house, your local area, your household, and or your country, that freedom and independence will be back in Easter 2026. What or who does not sit comfortably for you then will help you in figuring out a better way to have your own space, after which you can say that you used all the timing. Now, Prince Andrew is a Pisces. Will he stay or go from his royal residence? Will his brother Charles or nephew William have a say? Will he even break with the family, his home, even his country? These are all classic Pisces questions for this cycle. You have your story, and hopefully it's not as dramatic as that. But I do have some dates for you, Pisces, because the revolution is clearly coming with the family circle, the household, your house, apartment, any real estate, and even your town or country. These dates are all towards the middle of next year. So around June 3, there is a carve up, a compromise, a revolution, and a deal. Around June 15, there is a brand new beginning following that. Around June 28, Mars goes into this sector of your chart, and everything will start to move really quickly as you go into July. Around July 4, which is literally Independence Day in the United States, there's a fireworks moment for you, Pisces, when you realize that you are finally free. There's more momentous and historic change ahead with the family or with your sense of belonging to a place around July 15 and July 18. If you were thinking about June, July, for moving, for example, or reshuffling the family, be aware that the revolution with a capital R will also bring surprises that you hadn't counted on. But one way or another, Pisces, as you can see this week perhaps, you are very much going to be free at last. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch up with you next week.